Hello everyone. How are you feeling today? Wishing you all a very happy new year. I wish all your endeavors every success. So I'm Sitaraman Raghav Subramanian, trusted partner in your learning journey. So what are we going to talk today? What are you going to learn today? Today is a very typical topic. It's an important leadership topic. From boss to enabler, the real leadership shift. My friends, the era of boss is ending. Control does not scale leadership anymore. For a long time, leadership meant only control, hierarchy, decisions at the top, then as a top-down, the instructions flowing down. That model worked when work was predictable. In the current digital world, which is dynamic, it is not working anymore. Because knowledge is distributed, problems are complex, people expect meaning and not commands. That is why the leadership is shifting from boss to enabler. Let's see. A boss focuses on control, compliance, and eventually authority. Whereas an enabler will focus on clarity, capability, and ownership. And this is the primary shift between a boss to enabler. Enablers do not tell people what to do at every step. There is nothing called micromanagement. Enablers create clarity around why, outcomes, and boundaries. And then they trust people to think on their own. This shift is not about being soft. It is all about being strategic. Because when the leaders enable, people do not wait for instructions. They take their own responsibility that grows into accountability. We do not teach leadership skills. Instead, we enable leadership transformation using our own enable framework. Let us look at what is enable. This is a 6-pillar leadership framework. This is an enabling framework for leaders. Enable, E stands for establishing clarity. From giving instructions to creating a shared understanding. There is a clear purpose, there are clear outcomes, there are clear priorities, and the decision rights are clear. Without clarity, empowerment create only chaos because people will misunderstand without any clarity. So this becomes chaotic. Clarity is the highest form of leadership. Second of the framework, N, nurture capability. From expecting results to building capacity. What do we mean by capacity? This is skill readiness, the confidence building, coaching over always correcting, learning from the failure. People fail less due, due to the intent and more due to the capability gaps. Accountability without capability is really unfair. The third one, A, stands for active ownership. From monitoring people to creating responsibility. The ownership of outcomes, decision making authority, responsibility beyond the job descriptions, these constitute the active ownership. Ownership cannot be demanded, it must be always enabled. Ownership grows when trust is visible. Friends, the next one, B, stands for building psychological safety. It is a paramount importance. From a fear-based performance to a courage-based contribution. You allow speaking up without fear. You allow learning from mistakes. You allow healthy disagreement. You allow respectful challenges within the team. That is what is building a psychological safety for your team. The silence in team is not harmony. It is actually fear. High-performing teams feel safe before they feel fast. L stands for lead with emotional intelligence. It's an important aspect which differentiates from a boss to an enabler. Reacting emotionally, this is the current state. 2, responding consciously with emotional intelligence. The self-awareness, this emotional regulation, the empathy with boundaries, of course, influence under pressure. Leaders are emotional thermostats, not thermometers. Your emotion is setting the climate for the day. Finally, E stands for enabling execution. From strategic decks to a consistent result-oriented culture. Alignment to priorities, removing obstacles, cross-functional collaboration, review, not rescue. Execution is not a people problem. It is a leadership system problem. Execution improves when leadership matures. Now, let us look at what does this enable shift will provide us. The old leadership style is control. The enable leadership style would be clarity. When the old leadership talks only about authority, do what I say, enable leadership induces trust. I trust you. You please go ahead, think and execute. Old leadership is based only on instruction. It is always top down. And enable leadership focuses on outcomes rather than instructions. Old leadership encourages supervision. Enable leadership encourages ownership. Old leadership creates fear, whereas enable leadership acts based on psychological safety. Old leadership looks always for compliance. Enable leadership looks at commitment. This shift defines modern leadership. As a matter of fact, the most of the current leaders really struggle with this transition. Future-ready leadership is about enabling, not managing. Leadership today is measured by how well people perform without you, because you have set a system which will function in an autopilot mode without fear, without control. They don't need to be supervised. They do not have fear. They need to they need not only comply. They can do the work with commitment. Ask yourself, where are you controlling instead of enabling? Thank you very much.